Another area that's basically caught on a lot of momentum, especially by the Uptime Institute in the United States. The Uptime Institute is an organization that does extensive research in terms of data center efficiencies. And you might think, well, I mean, I'm a small business. What does the data center have to do with me? But the basic principles of a data center in terms of having a facility, buying power, keeping the room cool, and the real estate that your servers and your equipment take is a question that many companies and small businesses face. And is an important question because, again, even there we're looking at the efficiencies that can be derived from technologies like virtualization. And also in terms of manufacturing processes and technologies in terms of power supplies, UPS systems, generators, and alternative power sources. So looking at or having an idea of the efficiency, I mean, what we're trying to show by this movement in terms of the industry to focus on efficiency of the equipment, efficiency of the process, is something which is becoming a mainstay of businesses. And a lot of companies, when they're looking at suppliers, whether it be for IT or other areas, they're looking for how efficient is the solution and also what is its environmental footprint, which is becoming a major part of now RFPs, requests for proposals, requests for quotations, and so forth. So green IT, what does that mean? I mean, if I ask the audience just a general question, how many of you have heard the term green IT? Okay. You don't count. But how many of you have even a notion, or how important is IT, let's say, to the audience, how important do you see IT being in terms of your business, your day-to-day work, your day-to-day life? Okay. So essentially what we've done with the definition of green IT is we've said it's the integration of sustainable products and strategies into the business plan. And the reason why we say that is because there's no silver bullet. There's no catch-all or technology which is the holy grail right now. The industry as a whole, and I'll show you a few slides regarding that, such as leaders like Intel Corporation and other major manufacturers are working diligently in terms of reducing the electrical consumption of their products while delivering more capabilities and being able to better utilize the equipment that they sell. But this process is an evolving process. So if as a business you basically say, well, I'm just going to buy these new servers and this is going to last me for the next 4 or 5 years, you're going to miss the boat. Because the idea is by actually looking at the technologies and having a process in your business planning that identifies technology as a key component and its impact on your business and having a continuous cycle of review, you're able to incorporate new technologies and new ideas and new strategies that can save you money today with sometimes even nominal capital expenditures. Some technologies that have yielded some tangible results for our small and medium business clients: server consolidation through virtualization. I'll talk a little bit about that. Application consolidation, hardware selection from quality materials, and power consumption. I'm going to show a very interesting video about why it's so important to, when you're buying, even whether it be a desktop, a server, that you check on the ratings and the agencies that are rating that equipment in terms of its recyclability and its contribution in terms of being a good corporate citizen in terms of the quality of the materials they use and the reduction in toxic chemicals that are in those systems. HVAC and power conditioning. Curiosity, how many of you in your businesses pay for your own hydro? Okay. For those of you who don't directly pay for their own hydro, I'm sure that it's somehow hidden into your rental, right? A lot of businesses don't really equate that as being a direct cost, but as we face constant chronic shortages in terms of electrical generation, power generation, and distribution, the ability or the requirement to look at how we consume and how we can reduce our footprint so we can cut down our bills on a practical level, but also put less strain on the provincial systems in terms of electrical distribution and generation, that also has a huge impact in terms of the environmental footprint that we as corporate citizens take in our community. Looking at alternative power sources, we'll give some examples of some innovative and leading companies in terms of alternative power generation. Workflow and data accessibility, data storage and management, digital asset management and reduction of printing requirements. I have a curiosity here. How many people in the audience actually actively use scanning or digital documents instead of printing? Okay. So it's good to see that already, as it stands now, you already have the awareness, you're already doing some of these things as we speak now. So it's very, very encouraging. So from an IT perspective, we redefine the 3 R's. So we look at how can our customers reduce cost, number one. So again, the aspect of lean solutions. And also, by reducing costs, also reduce their environmental footprint. So from a reduced standpoint, we have a host of technologies that are aimed from the IT industry to reduce the footprint, make your equipment that you have more efficient, have a greater yield or benefit from that equipment, and save cost and save carbon costs in terms of the environmental footprint. Such as virtualization, thin clients, remote office and management, video computer conferencing and collaboration. Another show of hands. How many of you have either used or currently used as part of your active business routine a form of video conferencing or collaboration? Okay, not as many people. It's interesting. Digital forms of asset management we've spoken about. Virus and malware. How many people here construe virus protection and avoiding getting viruses into your companies, organizations, and so forth as a way to actually protect the environment? Okay, you're very progressive. One of the things that often are overlooked is that companies will spend a lot of money in what they feel is bleeding edge or leading edge technology with a promise that this is going to, as I said, be my silver bullet that's going to save me money, make me more efficient, and protect the environment. But then they neglect a series of other areas that can basically negate that value or negate those gains by not looking at the complete picture. So when you're in your businesses and in your community, when you're talking about looking at the full picture of IT or information technology, don't focus on just one aspect. We really have to have a complete process or framework that looks at the entire life cycle of the technology and reconciles that life cycle of the technology with your business plan and with your business's life cycle. In terms of renewal, in terms of looking how can we reuse energy or how can we reuse heat and so forth. So technologies in terms of in-rack cooling, green power, we'll talk a little bit more about that, wind, solar, geothermal, right? Technologies and strategies that are available today that you can sort of already contribute in terms of the reduction, in terms of getting power from other sources that are not as environmentally friendly. There are ways that you can already take advantage of those green power generation today. Technology asset management. Again, safe and proper disposal and reuse of technology. Not just because you stop using it for one purpose doesn't mean you cannot find a new purpose for that technology that may be able to avoid it being dumped or thrown away or end up in a landfill. Recycling, data center, again, inline cooling, e-waste classification, proper disposal. I was speaking with Mayor Ryan at the table, and he was mentioning to me that there's been several initiatives by the city of Pickering to look at what do you do with e-waste. So those Blackberries, those PDAs, those computers, those monitors, those cell phones. What do you do with that? And strategies and technologies to basically organize that waste and basically be able to have a minimal impact on the environment, but also be able to even look at it as being able to recover some of the costs for that equipment. So from a technology standpoint, whatever, again, simple equation, whatever you can reduce, the less you consume, and the more efficiently you consume, and the more enabled your organization is to take advantage of new technologies, the more you can both protect the environment and also save money.